that is going to take you to Jersey Shore.
Show me what you're crying for. I'll wipe your tears on up. If you're so taking love, we'll come for you for sure. If we're caught in a wave, I will carry you over. It don't matter where you are, I'll run to your front door. When my head goes in different directions, you know my heart's never on the move. And in the dark times, you don't have to question. Find my arms where we are. You could put an ocean into my love. It won't keep us apart. You could build a wall, run it up, just to get to your heart. If we're caught in a wave, baby, we'll make a way. You could put an ocean into my love. It won't keep us apart. Shadows play on idle hands. I lose myself if I do. But I find my way to velvet change. I'll crash right into you. If we're caught in a wave, I will carry you over. It don't matter where we are, you're still the one I choose. When my head goes in different directions, you know my heart's never on the move. And in the dark times, you don't have to question. Find my arms where we are. You could put an ocean into my love. It won't keep us apart. You could build a wall, run it up, just to get to your heart. If we're caught in a wave, baby, we'll make a way. You could put an ocean into my love. It won't keep us apart.
So, what do you guys want to talk about? What's going on, everybody? It is, in my opinion, with me, Pro. And as you can see by the title of this episode, I have it. I don't know. Would you consider this like a part 3 with them? The Dumb Marks podcast. You know them. You know Steve. You know Chris. You know Jason. And Donald is yet to be seen. But what's going on, everybody?
How you doing?
What's up?
So, like I said at the beginning, what do you guys want to talk about? Huh?
This invitation turned into a very juicy show, considering the news that dropped a couple hours ago, huh?
Absolutely. Before
Yeah.
we begin that talk, I want to point out something that I saw earlier today, that it's 1 year since we first did this show today.
Look at that.
So,
Whoa.
so I think this is going to have to become a recurring thing, every year on the anniversary.
Are you? Wow. Really? Okay.
1 year. Yeah.
You didn't even
Wow.
plan that.
No, we
That-
didn't.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah, but like, what a way to come out with like a year anniversary with this fucking news, huh? So I want to get your guys' thoughts on that real quick.
First off, Jason, did you forget to pay your electric bill? Like, what is going on over there, bruh?
This is how I live, man. In the dark.
Darkness. You gotta come to the light. 2023, we need you to get some light, some sun, like get the melatonin back in your system to come to the forefront. Like, you know what I mean? You're lighter than pro over there.
As long as you can see the whites, I'm all good.
All right, I just want to say
Look how
what's
you bring
going
it
on,
together.
everybody in the chat, real quick. Kenny from the
What's up,
College
Kenny?
here. What's going on, Kenny?
Going on, Kenny?
Sure, a few people will be rolling in, but
Surprised Ty's not on the comments yet.
who? Who? I'm waiting for Taekwon to come in.
Yeah.
That's
Can we
almost
talk about
season
Velma season 1? It's going to start streaming on HBO Max tomorrow. What do you want
Wait,
to talk
like
about?
Velma from Scooby Doo? Like that's a
Yeah.
thing?
Mindy Kaling is the voice of Velma.
Was that the cartoon one?
Yeah.
I
That's
guess,
what I was
yeah,
talking
okay.
about.
Yeah, you know, the adult version, because we gotta be serious and adult all the time.
Had no idea that was a thing.
It is. It's a solo fucking thing.
I'm here for it.
You would bring
There he is.
There he is. I thought he was gonna say the only thing black in Jason is his t-shirt, but I guess he missed that.
What's going on, Taekwon?
All right. So how do you want to get into this? I know we touched
Bro,
on
I
this
don't even know where to
Saturday on our
start.
show. So I mean, to piggyback off what we discussed on our show on Saturday, we covered it in length with the hostile takeover, so to speak. But I guess Christmas and Thanksgiving didn't go over well in the McMahon household because Stephanie submitted her resignation a couple hours ago, and she's officially done.
Crazy.
Take that for what you will, but this is getting. I don't want to say getting good because it's not getting good, but I mean, where's the next turn going to come? Vince pulls an all ego move to come back into power. Stephanie resigns. I'm expecting a Triple H All Elite graphic by Double or Nothing. Where are we going with this? Honestly,
A year ago, Shane left the company. This month, Vince ousted him out right after the Rumble. So it's just like so much has happened in a year time frame within this family. I can't even imagine if they actually had the holidays together.
Can I ask you guys a question?
it's your show.
It's like a non-serious question,
Okay.
but it is a question nonetheless. Do you think Vince McMahon is probably the smartest, most like conest man out there to slip his way back into what he's doing now?
Oh, definitely.
I think he has enough friends higher up that probably told him what to do, and probably told him, this is how you do it. And I don't think this was probably all his idea. I think part of it was probably his idea, but I think people were definitely planting the seeds with him, trying to show him how to do it.
Have you guys heard the conspiracy theories that maybe he never left either?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that. I mean, at some point, Vince is what, 77, 78?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I the man works damn near 24 hours a day. He's been doing it for 40, 50 years. Like, as they say, father time catches up to everybody, but apparently Vince McMahon found the fountain of youth because he hasn't stopped in all these years. So I want to say like, hey, this would have been not the way that he wanted to go out, but this was the perfect way to move on from Vince. He was out. We turned the page, moving forward. You had your succession line. We talked about that on Saturday, like what a great show the McMahons would be. I'm waiting for the ESPN 30 for 30 to come out at some point in time.
Oh, it will.
But now you throw Vince back into the mix, and it's like, all right, I don't know where we go from here. 77. Thanks, Kenny. And if Vince did come back with this hostile takeover, and he's going to be running the ship again, with Stephanie bowing out, Shane bowing out, who's going to take over for Vince when he does kick the bucket?
One of the things I saw today was that there's a possibility that if Vince is the one negotiating the contracts for the sale, that he might be trying to negotiate something with the sale that he goes back as head of creative. And that's definitely possible. You know, like there can always be contingencies on the sale of what they want. Doesn't mean it would last long, you know, depending on who buys it. But
Oh yeah, 100%. He's got a backup plan.
yeah.
Like
For
you were in a
sure.
good position going in, and now you're right now. It's like you're just taking away from Rumble. You're overshadowing it right now, depending on what else comes out after this.
All
So
the
what's
good momentum they had.
So who do you think is the best bet as far as buying the company?
Well, we said on Saturday, if we're running FanDuel, I think the odds and the favorites got to go to the Saudi group, just based off of the amount of money and assets that they have and their ties to WWE for the past however many years that they've been running Saudi shows. So I'd put them in the favorite. And then after that, I mean, honestly, it's a crapshoot. You've heard Disney, you've heard Amazon, you heard NBC Universal. We talked about CAA, the sports agency, possibly being involved.
Stephanie brought up on Friday in their meeting that, you know, they were talking about possibly going private again. Well, now that Stephanie's out, I question whether or not that's going to happen, but unless she's stepping away and going to work something on the back end while Vince is handling the day-to-day business of the company.
I think Fox makes more sense to me. You
The
cover
only
your
thing I question
bases
with
with
Fox
Fox.
is that they just don't have a legit streaming service for it.
Well, Fox is technically Disney. So
But
and
the Fox entity is not tied to Disney, though.
Yeah, the
for the
Fox
streaming.
Fox
the Fox
Television.
TV network isn't now.
the Fox
No.
Television isn't.
No, that's
Mm-mm.
when they split off. That Fox is Fox News, Fox Sports, all that kind of stuff. And they sold off all their 20th Century Fox Television to Disney.
Okay.
20th
Doesn't mean they
century.
couldn't launch something, but
I mean, that's what I'm saying, though. I mean, I mean, if that's the case, then take back what I said. Go to Disney, because Disney has that, like, they pretty much have everything, and you could have you could keep your shit on Hulu instead of keeping it on Peacock. I think Peacock is going to lose a lot of subscriptions once this if it ever does come up that they sell it. Peacock's going to lose a lot of money.
or
Well,
unless
this is
they
where-
don't sell the company and then you see Universal and NBC and Peacock buy all the rights, you know, for the next TV deal. That could still happen. Just because they're
Yeah.
trying to sell the company doesn't mean they are going to sell the company.
I mean,
you
I
gotta
think it's
figure this is where Vince hedges all bets, right? Like he's almost breaking it down to where he can negotiate it and sell it off in pieces if he wants, based on the options that
could.
are available to him. Whether or not that'll generate the most revenue, I don't know if that's his goal to sell it for the most amount of money. What are you planning on doing with it? Obviously, the way things have gone with your kids, you're not leaving them anything in the will. So what,
No.
I mean, what are we like? What are we doing? Like, you know what I mean? It's
Kenny,
You know, I
Disney's
saw
one of my
somebody-
bets too. You know, Disney knows how to run live events.
yeah, but what are we gonna get? Fucking WrestleMania on ice? Like,
But here's the thing with Disney.
But you could see WrestleMania on ABC, on prime time television. You could see WrestleMania on ESPN.
Well, here's the thing with Disney, and you brought up ESPN, Chris. They've lost so much money with ESPN Plus, it's not even funny.
I think eventually right now it's the Disney bundle, but I think that'll all blend together.
I mean, there's rumors that they're talking about making ESPN a strictly streaming network.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I think they
just to try to recuperate some
ESPN
costs
off too.
So, I mean, Disney may not, with Iger coming back in there, we don't know what his plans for the future are, but they
definitely want to go to a place that has live TV or live something, like live streaming already in place, like Hulu's already got it. I don't know if Disney has it yet. Disney Plus, do they do streaming live services at all?
A little bit.
Okay.
They haven't done a lot, but they do a little bit.
Yeah, I heard somebody say they should go to Netflix. That'd be crazy if they went to Netflix. And I'm like, how would that even work? Netflix is nothing but series and movies. I don't see any live TV events happening on Netflix. And I don't think Netflix has the budget anyway. If anything, I would think like Amazon, they could keep like the whole library to themselves. And they're last time I checked, like a 200, what are they? $20 billion company, something like that.
I mean, Amazon has the cash flow considering the amount of money that they ponied up for Thursday Night Football. They could definitely pony up the cash to take over the WWE. I think Amazon, if you're talking like domestically, who has the best chance, I think I would put my money on Amazon just strictly because the boost to Amazon TV or Amazon Prime TV, whatever it's called, that would be a significant increase to their portfolio, so to speak. And whatever they paid out towards the company, they'd get back tenfold over time with the amount of subscriptions that people would pay to sign up for Amazon Prime TV. Because right now they really don't have anything.
Yeah. Well, Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
Just original content.
But their original content's not up to snuff with the rest of the the streaming platforms that pump out.
The Boys is pretty good. I like The Boys.
The Boys. I mean, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel? That's popular too. But they have a new Lord of the Rings series. I think that's what they've really been trying to hype up lately. But like I said, I think Apple TV could be in the contention too. The money that they have, they're trying to find content from their platform. They just right now all they're doing is pumping original content. So they want to try to build up a library of other stuff for people to go on there.
Yeah, but Apple TV got in the baseball game and they've had nothing but terrible reviews and remarks for their baseball streaming. So I don't think they're up to speed, so to speak, to make it a viable. I mean, we saw all the issues Peacock had whenever they went live on Peacock.
Yeah.
So if Apple TV is going to get in the game and actually do it, then they're going to have to do some major step up to their platform because it's not set or configured correctly now for them to be able to run it.
I think we all still complain about Peacock. We've gotten used to it now.
Yeah.
But, it's still not where I would want it, not even close to being the way the network was.
Not as Amazon run smooth, because I remember watching Thursday Night Football. The first one I watched, I had trouble with it.
Well, the first week one was rocky just based off of the amount of people, the influx.
I jumped in week 2.
It got overloaded, but I didn't hear any real issues about Amazon and Thursday Night Football as the season went on. So
we gotta run in, guys. Hold on, everybody, please welcome Donald.
Hey. Welcome.
Hello, fellas.
You done getting tossed around on the jiu-jitsu mat by your niece?
Yeah.
Strike hard, strike fast, strike often. What is it?
I know a couple
Don't
moves now,
disrespect
boy.
the Cobra Kai saying like that, Jason.
I know a couple moves now, so don't see me.
Well, yeah. Well, we know if you got the rose-colored glasses on and the do-rag, then we'll stay away. But with an Under Armour hoodie, I think I'll take my bets.
Now,
No,
if it's Amazon or Apple, what does this do for the day to day or the weekly episodic TV tapings?
That comes back into the selling it in separate pieces, right?
Okay.
I mean, because technically that's still open and on the floor. Essentially, the WWE would become the NFL, where they're selling to the highest bidder, just like Amazon paid for Thursday night package. You have, all the networks, especially starting this year, they can pony up and pick which games they want this upcoming season, which games they want. So, NBC, everybody, they can pony up and request certain games for Sunday night and put bids in on it. So you could have the same format.
I'd break up pay-per-views.
So, I mean, this brings up an interesting topic because, we're talking about the content. But like with MLB on Apple and NFL on Amazon, all they're doing is they've just bought the content. They haven't bought the company. So would Amazon or Apple TV want to be in the live event business full term? Because then it's up to them to handle, the arenas and everything that are running these shows and the full day-to-day of the company. So that will be interesting because right now they're just in the content game, just like Fox is in with WWE, just like Universal is with WWE. It's the company that if they do get bought, instead of just buying the whole lump sum of content, who's the best to do that?
But all that being said, again, I think I circle back to my original thought to this is that the Saudi investment group makes the most sense because Vince can get the most money to $620 billion asset fund already, and he can keep control. So he's getting the best of both worlds there. The ties are there, the relationship's there. They won't pressure him to do anything he doesn't want to do, and they'll just make money off of it. So to me, that makes the most sense. That's why I put that as a show. So he's 95.
What did you say?
We'll have Goldberg on every show.
Oh. Toe will like that.
You just unleashed the beast. Toe's about to come into this chat any minute now.
No, he's not. He has something else popping off in a couple minutes. He's not doing a run in.
He's coming in and he's saying Goldberg, and that's it. I swear.
Play the music and leave.
So, Steve, you saying that Vince sells to the Saudis and still be part of the company? He'll still run the company for them.
Yes.
Okay.
Essentially.
Does this guy think he's gonna live for another 30 years or something?
Oh, of course. You ever see Krang from Ninja Turtles?
he said because his mother lived to almost 100 years old. She just passed away within the past year or two, and he said that's his goal.
He said that? He said that's his goal?
Yeah.
Be Vince's head in Braun Strowman's body.
I just don't understand the end game. Like you're essentially ruining any momentum that you had with this announcement.
Yeah.
So moving forward, what is it going to look like? Obviously, he has no say in creative, but we all know that. What's that?
At the moment.
Yeah, at the moment. But we all know eventually that's probably going to change. And with Bruce Pritchard still, he's still in creative, right?
Yep.
And that was his sidekick for fucking ever.
The yes man.
Yeah.
Him and Kevin Dunn, those are his guys.
Somebody's going to be talking into those guys' ears and telling them what to do, and fuck Triple H if he has any say in it.
That's the relationship that I'm married. I get along great with my in-laws. Okay. I'm lucky enough that I get along great with all my in-laws. I don't know how Hunter can go home now to his wife after she turned in her papers and get that look like, oh, still working for him, huh? When you gonna, you know what I mean? Like the family dynamic, like that's something that you want to talk about somebody that's still coming off of major heart surgery not that long ago. The stress of running the company itself and coming up with content and creative and the 24-hour machine that is the WWE is stressful enough. But when you add in the outside personal stuff and you can't separate work from home and home from work, the burnout is going to be super fast. At least it would be for me if I was in his shoes, because
And
I couldn't
having
take
Vince on
it
your
from
shoulder.
both ends. So like I said, is there an all elite graphic in his future? Probably not. I made that tongue in cheek, but
No.
I mean, geez, oh man, like
maybe for wrestlers whose contracts are coming up. Now they see that Vince is back in the business, they might turn the other way now.
This is the quickest whiplash of AEW and WWE going back and forth I've ever seen in wrestling. And just like, because everybody's just like, go to AEW. Oh, wait, go back. Triple H is in charge. Go to WWE.
Yep.
And then just like now that everybody's just going to be going back and forth, going like, where the fuck do I go?
You know, Tony Khan doesn't seem too bad of a boss now. Now that you think about it, huh?
well, he tweeted that out. He tweeted that out last Thursday or Friday. He said, hey, man, everybody's being super nice to me today. I wonder why. But to transition it from the back office and everything else, if you're looking moving forward talent wise, well, you know, obviously the Triple H Infinity Stone Gauntlet glove that he has with everybody he brought back, all those people got to be worried. What's William Regal thinking right now? He just left to come back. And not only that, but if you're a free agent, allegedly Jay White, and allegedly you're supposed to be moving to the States, and allegedly you have suitors from everybody, what do you plan on doing now? Do you come to WWE with Vince to become that big international breakout star that you think you can be? Or do you roll the dice and go over to AEW, debut for a couple weeks, and then be forgotten about like 85% of the talent Tony Khan has brought in?
Okay. All right. Calm down now. Okay.
Or stay and resign with New Japan.
Or stay.
You know, Chelsea Green just got signed, awaiting for creative to do something.
Yeah, good
and now
luck.
with all this happening, she's gonna have nothing.
Yeah, that's possible.
I think she just broke her wrist getting news.
That's not right.
I knew that was coming from Steve because I did the same thing with Top Flight.
That's not right.
85% of the fucking roster. My ass.
And especially now that the rumor is that Strong's done, at least temporarily. So
Strong is done.
An option for him. That's what Tanahashi said the other day, that they had their last tapings over the weekend.
Oh, I was reading it. He was done. Okay, never mind. Well, I don't know.
Tanahashi's never done.
I thought he was just done with Strong.
That's because of the merger, though, isn't it? Because they're doing shit with ROH.
I believe that's what the plan is. Allegedly, is that Strong will end up either absorbed into ROH or they'll be on the ROH platform, and be seen there as additional content. So,
Steve, let me ask you a question real quick. Now we're on the topic of ROH. You got me thinking about this. Danielson versus Takeshita. You hyped for that?
Absolutely.
Oh, did you need a
1000%.
storyline for that?
For that match, no. And we talked about this the last time I was on here because it was Danielson and I believe it was around the time Danielson and Dax wrestled. We talked about this whenever I was on last time. Look, like I said last time on the show, does every match need a storyline? No. Every match doesn't need a storyline. Certain people, when you pair up, I don't need a storyline. But if your entire 2-hour programming on Wednesday night and your hour on Rampage, if you're just doing matches and there's no storyline at all, That's not
Watch.
my cup of tea.
Do you
So-
guys think that we're conditioned because WWE was just in our brains for so long that we think that's the standard for every wrestling show now? That we just need storylines and bad gimmicks and bad fucking video packages?
For me, that's what I need in my wrestling. Like I can't sit through just straight wrestling after wrestling after wrestling after wrestling. You got to break it up. Give me some storyline. Give me some comedy. Give me something different.
What I fucking tell you
There it
guys?
is.
What I fucking tell you guys?
There
Come on,
it is.
Phil.
You guys
Come on.
unleash the fucking beast.
Come on in.
I told him if the Saudis buy, we get Goldberg every week.
Yo, if he's still here, I gotta play him something real quick. I always play this.
早上好，中国！现在我有冰淇淋，我很喜欢冰淇淋，但是
There you go, man. That's for you, Toe. Bing Chiling.
No, to your question, Pro. I don't think that WWE conditioned it. Now, we're a little bit older than you, I think.
A lot of it.
Okay,
But-
go on.
Ever since I've watched wrestling, it's been stories and matches.
Exactly,
Stories.
WWE.
Well, no, you
WCW.
go back to
WCW,
World Class. You go
And
to
NWA.
ECW. You go to NWA back in the day. WCW.
TNA.
You've had storytelling in wrestling. The story is what draws the audience in.
But for the most part, people have watched the WWE entertainment aspect of everything. Nobody really can go back and, besides WCW, and say, "Hey, remember that NWA segment from a long time ago?"
So
I mean,
with
I think definitely people our age or even older and wrestling fans, they're going to sit there and talk about the Four Horsemen, attacking.
How old are you
people.
guys, by the way?
40.
38 here.
now,
40.
You guys are in your fucking late 30s?
yeah.
Damn. I'm young, man. I'm in my
Well, I'm not
I'm
anymore.
just turning 30.
Yeah, so
Well,
this
there
is
you go.
this is the generational gap here, right?
Yeah.
So your majority. And when did you start watching pro wrestling?
2000 maybe.
He started with Rey Mysterio.
Okay, 2000.
So, yeah, so-
we was in high
So you're
school.
talking,
I'm graduating high school.
You started with storyline.
I started 10 years. I started in 1990. That's whenever I started. So I got a decade jump on you.
I
87.
go back to WrestleMania 3.
Same here. 3. WrestleMania 3, 87.
Oh
So-
shit. My first
Yeah.
one was 21. Whoops.
We just played our head.
We're drawing it on a little different level here as far as cards in the deck. But I mean, stories have always been involved in wrestling, and if you listen to anybody, whether it's from Dusty Rhodes back in the day to Bully Ray now, Conan, everybody, like, you can't have just matches. It doesn't work.
Especially if it's if you're doing like a weekly thing. Like if it was just like monthly pay-per-views.
The pay-per-views are fine. because
Wrestling, that's different. But every week, weekly episodic, you got to give me something, mix it up.
But I feel like with certain things, like I can go, and maybe it's just me, like you guys said, it's a generational thing, but I can go and get hyped over a match just by a name alone. I feel like WWE doesn't really do that though. Like, wouldn't you guys like to see like a Gargano versus give me another name?
Seth?
Ciampa.
Right. Yeah, Gargano versus Ciampa. If they just announced that, no build up.
I'd be
They
here
have
for
Be
it.
happy
history
with
already.
Yeah.
I'll be happy with them because they had history already.
Oh,
Story.
see, yeah.
So, so this kind of goes back to Stone Cold thing. Whenever he left WWE, what was that? 2002. Whenever he walked out, that's what they wanted to do with him. They just wanted to throw him and Brock Lesnar on Raw in a King of the Ring match just for the hell of it one night. and he walked out because he just said, you're not giving me any storyline here. You're not giving any build up. What's the point of doing this match if we're not building up on it for a few weeks to get the crowd anticipated for these two big names to go at it? And that was on top of a lot of other stuff, but that was the straw that broke the camel's back for him.
If you don't tell stories, you're leaving money on the table. And at the end of the day, these are all businesses that are trying to make money.
I mean, I got nothing except maybe like the first time somebody has a match against each other, no build up. I guess you could say like once they have that match, then you have something to build off of when they go and have a match again. Like, yeah, you got the upper hand on me the first time, but second time around, you ain't gonna be so lucky. Shit like that. I guess that's pretty cool. But even that, like, that doesn't do anything for me.
But to Steve's point from before, not every wrestling show has every match have storylines, and you don't need that for every match. But just give me something on the show. Give me a few that I should be following week in, week out.
And to counter your initial question, Dave, with Danielson versus Takeshita, there is story involved in that. It's not just a match that's announced just for a match. The story is Danielson has to win to get a world title shot at MJF. So the story is established there. The match alone, but there's story there. So
I didn't even realize that. I was just thinking of the two names. I was sold on that.
So it's a storyline in the match, but not against one another.
But there's a story.
Oh, there is story though. Okay. There you go. Take that, AEW haters.
Well, no, I mean, and we talked about this again last time. Like, you can only run the fantasy booking so often, and then you run out of matchups. Once the people are in the company for so long, you can only run those oh my god matches that like I really want to see playing WWE 2K23 on live TV, and then you hit a wall and there's nothing else there. So what do you do at that point?
You bring in Johnny Knoxville and have a jackass match.
And
that's a good storyline.
Oh my god!
Like a storyline and a tremendous match.
I can't fucking win with you guys. I'm outnumbered. Like,
Dave, I mean, One True Villain posted up there that you're the target audience in that age group. We're not anymore.
Yeah.
So it's just like, if what you're enjoying is what they're putting on, no matter if it's WWE or AEW, you're what they're going
it's just
after.
people getting stubborn that it's not the way that it used to be. And that's why they don't like the current product. Because I can sit here and honestly say, I watch AEW from top to bottom, and not unless it's like really fucking stupid. I don't get offended by the show every week. Like I heard some people say last week or a week before, they got mad because of the finish for Darby versus Samoa Joe because he won, and it wasn't believable. And
I did, like, yeah.
You did?
I did. It wasn't. Yeah, it didn't feel believable.
I hate
Hogan's leg drop is.
It's wrestling. None of it's believable.
Drop.
Dave, this was an argument in '97 through 2002 with the Attitude Era, where so many of the golden era fans, or older, were used to tune into WWF and WCW, and then they started turning it on. It was all about TNA, and they were like, this isn't wrestling to me, and that was a huge argument for years. That was even an argument why Bruno Sammartino didn't do anything with the company for a long time, was because to him that it was more entertainment than it was wrestling. Granted, that's the way that times evolved with it in a way, but I think you're always going to get that, but there's always going to be those fan bases that always wants yesterday's wrestling, not today's. But I'm here for wrestling. That's why we do this show. We all love wrestling, and just because the show might not be
shots
what
to the head.
No,
I do miss those.
No,
I do.
After CTE and everything, no, I can't do that.
Walter just caught one a few weeks ago.
I still think back to whenever Spears did it to Cody, And it's just like, no, that's exactly why we don't need it. It made a moment, but
cool. But Bruno was wrestling in the
Oh,
60s.
jeez.
Let's be honest. You probably saw. Okay.
I didn't even see that. How many
I
times
ain't
you
gonna
gonna change
finish
your
that.
profile image, Taquan? Oh, man, I'm like, who's this?
But yeah, this going back to the original topic, this Stephanie McMahon shit's crazy. So is she just gonna pull a Shane now and just never come back into it anymore until like he's inevitably gone, or like what's up? Like
I'm calling it here. If Triple H leaves the company at any point, Stephanie and Triple H are going to be on the background trying to buy the company.
They
with
don't
some
have the
group.
funds.
Does he
to buy
have
it.
money? Yeah, I was like,
They
does he
don't have
money
the
to do-
funds. Doesn't mean they can't get the funds from some other group or be partnered with another group to acquire them. The Rock
Why don't
didn't
they
have all
just
the
take
funds
their
to buy
talents-
XFL, but he got an investment group to buy the XFL with him.
Why don't they take it to some place that actually needs it? Like, I don't think WWE is gonna hurt just because Stephanie McMahon left or Triple H leaves.
No.
I think
Yeah,
they
but
should
WWE
go to
didn't hurt
like
with
fucking
Vince leaving.
NWA or Impact. Do something with that.
If there
I think
wasn't if there wasn't AEW around, if this is 6 years ago, instead of now AEW, working on year 4, if this is 6 years ago, I think you get Stephanie and Triple H to start their own.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, based off of everything that's gone down. If you rewind this same scenario 6 years earlier, I think they start their own company, and that's the alternative that we're seeing. But now with this landscape, I think given everything, I think Stephanie is come to peace and has actually washed her hands and says, all right, I'm done. I had my run. I'm gonna be a full-time mom. I'm gonna do whatever. She's more than savvy enough to succeed in any venture she decides to go into. Hunter's the one that's gonna have probably the hardest time with walking away.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I think if
Which
Hunter,
sucks,
was
based off of
pre life-changing event, I would agree with you on that. I think he's in a different place now. I think if he had to walk away tomorrow, I think he'd be okay with it.
Mm. Mm-mm.
I don't know, man.
I think his kids are more important than the business to him these days.
If that were the case,
He wouldn't be doing all that.
yeah.
Creative on everything.
I mean, this goes to any athlete or coach in pro sports. You know what I mean? Like that addiction to the locker room, to being around the fellas, to do it. I mean, look how long it took the Undertaker to retire. Flair's still wrestling. Flair is still wrestling.
Flair's doing
Steve-O
those Terry
just
Funk retirement.
Steve-O just came back for a match. Like the Midnight Express are still wrestling.
Stone Cold never said never and jumped back in.
There's rumor that he's coming back to WrestleMania.
So I mean,
God help us all.
The itch never leaves.
Very few
That's the
have
crazy
walked
thing,
away
because
and
Stone
actually
Cold-
walked away.
Stone Cold will sit there and say that he didn't have the itch for years. But I don't know if it was money or if he got the itch back or what.
As soon as Vince left, he did. And now, who knows now?
I think Stone Cold, that was the perfect storm of Texas, the right storyline, the right person with Kevin Owens, that just like all the stars aligned for that, for him to actually go, okay.
Yeah. And now we're gonna get Logan Paul versus Stone Cold. And I'm here for it.
That's not going to happen. You get Logan Paul versus John Cena, but
Quit putting
Yo,
these
that's
dream
another
matches
thing too. A
on
lot
the-
of people are getting on his ass because of that crypto zoo shit. You hearing about him
Logan
scamming
Paul?
people?
No.
well, wait, is that something that has to do with his pig that got abandoned in a field somewhere, or is that something completely different?
That's no, we're talking about Bitcoin and shit. Not pig.
Well, I just saw he was in the headlines today for something about, I don't know if he bought a pig or sponsored a pig somewhere, and they found out it was abandoned in the field. It was like an ASPCA commercial.
Yeah, no, he got the pig. Somebody who sold it to him said it was a mini pig. Turns out it's not a mini pig. It's a fucking huge pig. And so he gave it to somebody.
It was an itty bitty baby pig.
Yeah. So he gave it to another farm or family or whatever. They
Why are you
said,
talking about this?
This is your entertainment storyline of the evening.
so they said fucking
This is a segment in the third hour of Raw.
this is my God. Hold on.
Look,
So-
they knew
so
what they
the-
were getting into. They knew what they were getting into with Logan Paul. I mean, the past is checkered to begin with, and yet you're coming out here and putting him out there. Comments never let us down.
Never.
But yeah, so yeah, the whole pig thing is not his fault. He didn't abandon it, just the family that did. But anyways.
Never thought I'd be on a show talking about Logan Paul's pig.
Fucking pigs.
Let's post a poll below. Who do you
Yeah.
think abandoned the pig?
One gotta go. Pig, Bitcoin.
The original owners or Logan Paul?
Ham,
Wilbur,
bacon,
Big,
pork chop.
Porky. Give me another pig.
But no, fucking Logan Paul's under investigation for initially like scamming people out of $30 million. So I don't
Really
know
cool
if he
to
is
Brett
going to
Favre.
have a WrestleMania moment.
Is it that FTX one or whatever?
No, it's his own thing. Crypto Zoo.
Oh.
It's like NFTs. So his whole ordeal was you make an NFT of a made up imaginary animal and then you sell that for money. People will
Like a
buy
hit.
that artwork for money. Yeah. No, it's fucked up. Yeah. There's a reason why it didn't work and it's a scam. And so that's what he's getting in trouble for. And he's under investigation with a lot of people. So I don't know if WWE, well, I take that back because they love controversy. So, but I don't know if they would want that connected to their WrestleMania.
You're
But
gonna
who
have
knows?
Vince
By the
back.
time WrestleMania comes around, that shit might blow over.
Vince will probably be in the main event of WrestleMania this year, so the controversy won't matter.
NFT furry art, yeah. Yeah, that's basically what it was. So he's got, I don't know what his deal is with fucking animals, Crypto Zoo and pigs. I don't get it, but yeah, that's what's going on with that. What do you guys think about John Cena's bald spot?
Hey,
life, man.
hey. We are
It's-
not
that's
talking
life.
about
He's getting
other people's
old.
bald spots. Yeah.
What did you say? He's what?
He's getting old.
Oh,
That's it.
I mean,
I thought I
you
heard
gotta-
white for a second. Like,
You gotta recognize.
you
You gotta recognize the situation, and you know
he's stressed
he
out.
grew the hair out at the wrong time. He grew the hair out at the wrong stage of his life.
He could have with the John Cena buzz, you know.
Yeah, he must get a piece like Ted Danson whenever he's filming the movies or something now.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hollywood patch that up.
What is
Real quick.
with your old ass references tonight, Chris? You're talking about Bruno, Ted Danson. Can we get relevant and
It's a new year.
make me
Well,
Can
we
you not
know
show
these
your
people.
age,
Like
please.
early.
We know these people.
This isn't sponsored by AARP. Like I know, Jesus, man.
That's what you think.
See?
Steve, so trying to keep up with the youth. Join us in Oldham.
No wonder why our ratings tanked. This dude's talking about stuff that happened in the 20s all the damn time.
Y'all remember the Andy Griffin show?
Yes.
That was he's got life alert.
Hey, we're all close to that age.
Yeah, he has
my
life
God.
alert and a walk-in shower. Like that. Ugh.
Oh, poor
Hey,
Chris.
what pro wrestling questions you got, pro?
What do I got? for
Besides
you
John
guys?
Cena's bald spot.
Have you seen it? Have you looked at so I did a thing on Twitter, right? John Cena's bald spot is in the exact shape of the Millennium Falcon. Have you guys seen that?
No.
It's in the exact shape of the Millennium Falcon. It's so fucking funny if I can find
Are you
it.
pulling it up?
I am.
That's
Look,
there you go. You know who's WWE's next owners are.
you can't be here with a full cloth of hair joking about bald people, man. When three of us are wearing hats for a reason.
What are you talking about? All right. That's
how technology works, Dave.
White screen.
Yeah.
You dumb Mark.
God damn it. I should have
There's
been
a
more
button down below
prepared.
that says share your screen. That's how you gotta do it.
All right, you guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna find this fucking picture of the Millennium Falcon on John
Just
Cena's
to
head.
overlay the back of John Cena's head.
I'm trying.
Question
I'm
for
looking
y'all:
for
Should Jay White leave in New Japan to test the American market with either WWE and AEW, or should he stay in New Japan?
Yes.
Test the market.
I mean,
That's a tough question.
you always got to test the market, right? Like,
Not
I
all
think
the
he
time.
has. I think he believes in himself enough that he wants to be on the same tier as the other global icons in pro wrestling, so to speak. And I think he saw what Kenny Omega was able to do by leaving New Japan and coming to the States. And Omega talked about this before his match with Ospreay as one of the reasons why he decided to leave New Japan and go to AEW. It wasn't just because he was going to be an EVP and get to be with the Bucks, but he wanted to come to the States and prove that, hey, if I'm the best bout machine in the world, I got to get over in the States. And I think Jay White is on that level now where, based off of the momentum he's had the last couple of years and the matches that he's put on, he can come in and be a star in any company. From microphone-wise to in-ring bell-to-bell, you can put him in there with anybody you want in any company, name him, and I think he'll tear the house down automatically. So, yes, I would say test the market. But I feel New Japan will pony up to keep him just because they've already seen what happens whenever top stars leave.
My personal opinion, I think Jay should stay in New Japan. I think that's the best place for him right now. But you got to bet on yourself. If he thinks that he can be a bigger star here in the States, you got to do it. AJ Styles did it a few years ago. Is that a good enough reference, Steve? Is that close enough to being today?
No, that reference doesn't work at all. But okay.
Akbono, is that somebody?
His contract was up, and he decided to bet on himself. Worked the world really. Worked around the States a lot. Then went to Japan, made a name for himself there, and then came back and worked with WWE. So could be something that Jay does, but we'll just have to wait and see what he thinks the best bet is for him.
If Jay, sorry, Donald, real quick, just to piggyback and add an additional question. If Jay White were to, and I don't know his exact contract situation, and there's a lot of stuff being floated around when it's up and when it's not up, etc. If Jay White were to debut in the Rumble, does he get the same pop as AJ Styles?
I don't think so.
I don't think
he'll get a pop from like deep wrestling fans, but I don't think so.
And how many deep wrestling fans is in the WWE universe?
Oh, I mean, online wise, definitely get a pop. In the building, you're not getting as loud as AJ.
He would trend. That
definitely.
Oh, he definitely would trend.
Definitely, yeah.
But the pop, especially in. Are they in Alamo Dome?
They're in the Alamo Dome, Chris. Yeah.
Yeah. That's such a big building. Even some of the pops there are just gonna get lost anyway.
And then plus AJ was on US TV before that for Impact. But for me personally, I would like to see Jay White go to WWE because I would think that AEW is just like a lateral movement. It's basically the same as New Japan. You know,
Penny
it's,
Bender.
Lateral.
yeah, it's basically the same. So they're in a relationship with each other and that stuff. And even though he's on US TV, I don't think he's growing as a wrestler. So I like to see his shot at WWE against talent that he never faced before.
I just want to see everybody versus Seth.
He's definitely he's already, based on this past year working AEW, working Impact, and being in the States for New Japan Strong. he's already tested the waters and is seeing what his options are.
Stop it.
So I think if you know, if the timing is right, which it appears it's lining up to be, then yeah, make the jump based off of what you've done the past year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of what company he decides to sign with.
Bro, you're the host. What do you think?
Hikuleo?
We can talk about Hikuleo.
He's
Him
another
and
one
Tama
too.
Tonga were rumored to, have interest from WWE, but is that Triple H or is that Vince?
Or Sean.
That's Triple H.
So when Sammy gets kicked out the bloodline, Paul Heyman climbed the mountain and got 2 more Samoans.
I don't. So I would like to see. I don't want to see JY and Hikuleo, but I would mind seeing Tama Tonga go to WWE. I think he fit in with that system. I don't know why. I just can't see Jay White in a WWE. I know that maybe what was it, 4 years ago? He tried out and was almost signed. And he almost was part of NXT, and then they just said, "Nah, never mind, man."
I think Jay's biggest issue if he does go to WWE is going to be the lack of creative freedom for him. I don't think you would get the best Jay White in WWE.
Does he keep the name Jay White?
No.
Is that his real name?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know either. I know. I was asking.
I don't think so, unless you got some good lawyers.
Triple H?
They allow people to keep
the
their real
name.
name.
If Jay,
Vince, no, they'll change it to something.
His name
Jay
is Jamie
White
White.
Jamie White. Okay.
if Jay White does decide to come into WWE, you figure what AJ's out? What you would say maybe between 6 and 12 weeks with a broken ankle if everything goes well, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have the Good Brothers there. You have the OC. You could run an angle with Jay coming in and kind of taking over the spot for AJ with the OC. And then AJ comes back. What's going on here? And you got your first feud for Jay White is AJ Styles right off the bat.
Jay White
That'll
versus
put Jay White.
Finn
That'll
Balor.
put Jay White on a level since he's coming in with AJ right off the bat. He's a made guy. He's a star.
You have Jay White versus Finn Balor, like I said.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that Jay White's finisher is exactly like Bray Wyatt?
That'll change.
Well, we don't know what finisher Bray White's using because he hasn't wrestled yet since he came back.
That's a good segue. That's a good segue. What do you guys think about this fucking slow burn shit? Because I'm getting a little peeved by the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's too slow.
I agree with you. Yeah.
I'm okay with it based off what they did last night, as long as you get more of.
What did they do last night that was different from a week ago?
Well, Friday night, was it this past Friday? Or maybe it was the Friday before, you had Uncle Howdy actually come out and then he Sister Abigail Bray.
Uh-huh.
And
And
LA
then you
Knight
had
did
Uncle
a
Howdy
note
come out yesterday.
with Alexa Bliss. So we're
And-
starting to get the,
Right.
the Bray
He's
Wyatt
coming
6,
out.
if you
Yeah.
want to say. Like so it is picking up, but you got to put some speed behind it because it has been an extremely slow rollout. And whether that's Bray's doing with the gimmick and the angle, or that's Triple H wanting to slow burn it.
The
There's a
new guy
difference
that's
between-
long term creative.
My thing is you have two different Uncle Howdies.
Do you?
Yeah.
What?
You have the full mask and then you have the Kane type mask. So
Oh, really?
yeah, would you run with different Uncle Howdies to introduce your 6? Or
My thing
Everybody's
is-
an Uncle Howdy.
Do we even know who the White Rabbit is? They never talked about that. The White Rabbit has been there, but nobody's ever said, "Hey, I'm the White Rabbit."
And the last thing we saw of the White Rabbit was the recording from the doctor leaving his notes, and then somebody breaking into the office, and the recording cut out. But they haven't done anything else since then with that.
Yeah, no.
So that was how many
Or-
weeks ago? People probably forgot about it now with how fast things move. Bo
Or
Dallas
like-
was rumored to be at Raw last night, so take that for what you will.
I'm gonna be disappointed if it ends up being Bo Dallas. I'm gonna say, right
Nah,
here.
you got to be on the boat train.
no, no.
Dave, we
Where,
talked
where,
about this on
where
our
were you
show.
all at when he was with the company?
I was
Is that-
Bo
Oh,
Dallas.
Bo
Jason
Train.
was behind him. Jason was
Oh,
behind
no,
him.
Jason was
Everybody's
behind
coming out of
it.
the woodwork now with this fucking
Oh,
Uncle
they-
Howdy shit. I
but
didn't hear
Jason-
anybody say, "God, I can't wait for another Bo Dallas match."
I mean,
Fucking
Jason
2
was a
years ago.
believer. He was
Yeah.
a believer.
I almost
Jason
bought a B
was.
Squad shirt.
Jason bought the merch. He did it all.
Yeah.
He had the action figures.
Hey, Bo
go
Dallas
there.
in NXT was Bo Dallas, but when he came up on the main roster, it was just like, all right, you're like everybody else did. I bring up.
Santino.
That's what,
Dave,
I
we
mean,
talked
that's
about
what
this
I'm
on our
saying.
show with the whole stuff for Bray Wyatt. Would you rather see them speed this up and I don't know necessarily if rush is the right word to get the whole Wyatt family established before WrestleMania, or do you continue the slow build and then after WrestleMania, like kind of like that's the momentum for it afterwards?
So, like, before we answer that, like, I don't mind the slow build, but I wanted to like at least make it fun. Like with the fucking White Rabbit thing, they at least made it fun. They
Mhm.
had people interact. You had QR
Mhm.
codes, shit like that.
Mhm.
So, and you know how people are. People love to decipher things and guess things. With this, I got nothing to go off of. Like the only thing that you got is, wow, who's Uncle Howdy? Ooh, riveting stuff. Like, and we probably already know who the fuck it is anyway. So, I don't know. I think with this you don't slow build. Unless you're doing like QR codes again.
I think the problem they ran into was that they ran the same promo and the same type of segment for it. How many weeks in a row?
It was like 2 months.
And it just that killed the momentum that was the White Rabbit whenever he came back.
Yeah,
I don't
you
think you
cut the
needed
same
the-
Mrs. I don't like who
Yeah.
I am from every week.
Mhm.
And I get it. You got to establish things and keep stuff up your sleeve, so to speak. But at the same time, if there's not a progression to it to where I want to tune in every week for it, then it's moving too slow.
Mhm.
When was Extreme Rules? Was that early? Was that September?
October.
October. So you had Extreme Rules, then you had what?
Survivor Series.
Survivor Series.
Saudi, then Survivor Series.
Saudi,
Nothing
Survivor.
in December, and then
Now you're
you're
at
going
Rumble.
to the Rumble now. At
But
least
we're
we'll
going
have a
on
match at
3
Rumble.
months of like no progress.
Yeah,
But
The
I
only
think
thing
the
he's
slow
done
build
is
is
he put Bray and his sister Abigail in 3 months.
I think the slow build is helping LA Knight though. Big time for me.
I was a fan of, Eli Drake / LA Knight
Yeah.
to begin with. Like,
But it's getting like
He is-
everybody else on board, like the fans,
yeah, he's too good on the mic to not get a reaction.
Yeah.
So we'll see what the match does coming up with the Rumble because,
Whatever it is.
And what's
This
going to
pitch
happen
black
with
nonsense.
Bliss? Like, what's the storyline with that? Like, obviously, there's history. I get it, but what does she have to do with all of this?
For me, that was one of the best things on Raw last night, if not the best. Her facial expressions that entire time, you could feel her emotion, the hatred, the anger, wanting to break out into tears. Like, she conveyed emotions if you're watching it that made you feel something looking at it through the screen.
And in a way, she's never completely broken from that character.
No.
Yes, they've evolved her in a little bit and moved away from it, but she still had the doll for how long?
Yeah.
They did those therapy sessions with her for a good while. It's like, so they've kept the story going even when Bray wasn't in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy for them to transition back really with her.
It did whenever she left and then came back. She still had the doll with her.
Yeah.
I think you need to stay away from the extra supernatural stuff. The black ooze and all that other stuff. Like, you can do the, I don't want to call it a cult gimmick, but there's a way to do it to have it have sustained for a sustained duration of time and not jump the shark with the complete supernatural. This isn't believable at all. Bullshit. Like,
I was going to say that, Don, but I didn't want to throw an outdated reference on again.
what was it? I missed the reference. What was the
Papa
reference?
Shango.
Papa Shango.
That's another thing that bothers me too. Is like how many fucking creepy ass characters can there be in wrestling? We've had Bray Wyatt. We have Alexa Bliss. For a while there, the Judgment Day was like that before they decided to be a fucking, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Latino
Saints
Purple
Row.
Disciples.
I say Saints
Saints
Row.
Row.
You got Abaddon, you got Aladon.
Yeah,
House of
Abaddon.
Black.
The House of
Skizz was-
Black.
Yeah,
What's
Skizz
dude
was there
with
for a
Miz?
second.
You got that chick in NXT now who's like a witch or something. Like everybody's just
Isla Dawn.
yeah. It's like how many? I think it's played out at this point. Jesus.
And
mean,
that
that's
circles
stuff
back
that's
around
never-
to your creative team. What do you do to keep things fresh? Wrestling is a constant repeat of itself. You're not gonna it's very rare that you come up with an actual original idea that hasn't already been done in pro wrestling. So how can you take what's been done before, make it fresh and new again, and make it feel to the fans that it's something that's interesting and grabs your attention to where you want to watch it on television, 1 night a week, 2 nights a week, 3 nights a week?
I mean, that's a good question. I don't know how to answer. I don't think I have the mind to answer that.
And I think all promotions right now are struggling with that.
I mean, you can't always
Yeah.
have, there's only one Rock, there's only one Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's what sucks, is that we're not building new stars anymore. We're not building any new stars. What?
Oh my gosh.
You're stealing Donald's gimmick right now.
Not building any new stars, but everybody wants Stone Cold to come back at WrestleMania.
I don't.
I mean, it's
So-
like,
I don't want
it's
The
like-
Rock to come back either. We don't need the fucking Rock. We don't need The
It's
Rock
like-
versus Roman Reigns. I'm sorry. That
we talked about with
He
2.0
had his
whenever they
time.
started. You can't do cookie cutter.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you.
that shit's played out too. That Rock and Roman Reigns shit. I don't give a fuck who's the head of the table. Nobody really cares. It's Sami Zayn everybody tunes into, not the fucking bloodline.
Oh my gosh.
I tune in for the bloodline.
Hey, in my
He's-
opinion,
He's just going around right now, just like picking each of our stuff.
He's speaking my tune. I like
Did you guys just become best friends? You gonna date your karate in the garage? Like,
Pretty soon he's gonna start saying, "Let it play out."
it's all a work. It's all a work.
Yep.
Pro, I know we talked about this last time I was on, and the other three Jagoffs that are around me right now aren't going to answer this because they don't pay attention to it. Are you going to tune in for Hard to Kill for Impact this week?
depend. When is it?
Jesus,
week.
never mind.
When is it? Just tell me when is it?
Thank you. Thank you. It's this Friday, the 13th, by the way.
Okay.
Friday the 13th.
All right. No.
Why? Why won't you tune in?
I got Rampage.
No, I'll
to watch.
tune in. I'll try to tune in.
I
It's
mean, you already
pay-per-view,
do a
right?
live stream on SmackDown and Rampage afterwards, anyways, but that's going to be going on at the same time.
Oh fuck! I think my car alarm's going off. Oh shit! You guys hear that?
No,
No, I can't.
Okay. Hold on.
Go
I'll be
check your
right
guard.
back.
hopefully
guys-
it's still there. This is what happens in Chicago, huh?
All right.
Well, welcome to the
Welcome
Double We have
Special segment of one
officially,
guy. Yeah.
we have officially taken over the show.
Yeah, we
Taking
bought a new
hostile
show.
takeover.
Hostile takeover.
Pro was tired of getting his ass whooped and decided just to let us run things. So welcome. If you got any questions, throw them in the chat right now. We'll answer them gladly for you guys. Gentlemen, do you have you tuned into NXT at all tonight?
No.
No.
I was going to say, Steve, I mean, you were talking about it. Are you tuning into Hard to Kill this Friday night?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, does he have it on timer?
Still got control.
Yeah.
Is your car still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there.
No, I'll be watching Hard to Kill instead of SmackDown and Rampage.
But why?
It's
Yeah,
a
why
really
did
good
they do that?
card.
Why do they put their pay-per-views the same time as like two other major promotions?
I don't know. So the way that they film, it's easier for them to do the pay-per-view Friday, film your Fallout show and TV taping Saturday and Sunday, and then they have their television for the next 8 weeks. At least that's how they were doing it. So it's just the setup because you have everybody there for the weekend. So they do Friday to pay-per-view, Saturday and Sunday TV tapings for cost purposes and to have everybody in at the same time. It's just the best way to work around the dynamic there.
All right, so another follow-up question. Does Bully Ray win the Impact World Championship?
I'll be interested to see what happens on Thursday night before the go home show, so to speak. Josh Alexander's been on an incredible run, the longest reigning Impact champion of all time. I don't know if they pull it. I don't know if they pull the trigger. I will say this though. If they do pull the trigger on Bully, one, I don't think it'll be that for that long. And two, the story that they've told leading up to this, I won't have an issue with him winning it compared to other legends and other promotions that have won titles.
It would just be in the brother category.
That's a first. You're the first person I've heard say that. I've heard people say they will stop watching Impact if he wins.
No.
There goes their audience.
Yeah. all 11 of them.
Uh-huh.
Listen, I don't think you're going to get a Tyrus situation where everybody just completely checks out of the NWA if Bully Ray wins the belt on Friday night.
There goes my car again. What is happening tonight?
Somebody's
Hold
messing
on,
with
guys. Fuck.
This is tremendous podcasting right now.
So what's the lineup for the card? You know?
For Hard to Kill,
Yeah.
you give me 1 second and I can pull it right up for you.
Steve, I'm with you right now. I'm not sure which way it's going to go. I mean, the buildup that they've been given, Bully, I could see them putting it on them. Like, and that is one thing I will give them right now, that I'm not sure which way it's going to go. It makes logical sense to keep it on Alexander, you know, being the longest reigning champion and everything. But because he just hit that, do they take it off him? Because now he hit that milestone, and they could just move on just briefly and continue the feud.
See, that's good wrestling storytelling there.
Yes.
If you have you waver like that, it really does.
So the card is as follows. You have a number 1 contenders match for the Women's Knockout Championship. Masha Slamovich, Deonna Purrazzo, Taylor Wilde, and Killer Kelly. A Falls Count Anywhere in Atlanta match between Steve Macklin and Rich Swann. X Division Championship match between Trey Miguel and Black Taurus. The Digital Media Championship match between Joe Hendry and Moose. Jonathan Gresham versus Eddie Edwards. 4-way elimination Impact World Tag Team title match. Motor City Machine Guns versus the Major Players, who's Cardona and Myers, versus Heath and Rhino, and then Ace Austin and Chris Bay.
Back.
And then you have the title versus career match, Jordan Grace versus Mickey James. And then the main event, Bully Ray versus Josh Alexander. So 8 matches total.
Wow, that's nothing.
Sounds like a good card, though.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's not a AEW 13 match.
Yeah. Yeah.
Main
I
card.
kind of knew that's where that was going, Jason. Thank you.
There's 2 matches on there that I'm definitely interested in, that I would tune in for the 2, and that would be the women's title match and the main title match.
I mean, there's your co-main event and your main event. So
Isn't this Mickey James' last ride here?
Could be.
Last rodeo?
it's title versus career. So
Oh, she's definitely losing then. Or,
yeah, I don't see her winning the belt. Like she got her last run when she beat Deonna. She was able to, you know, come out in the Rumble last year as Impact Knockout Women's Champion. Especially with everything that, you know, is going on with her husband right now, and him being a free agent on the market. You know, Mickey's had her just due in the business. One of the, you know, most impactful women's wrestlers. You can put her on the short list of names if you want to run through that list. We can, but
if Mickey loses on Friday, do you think this is it? Like her career is done, or do you think it's just her career in TNA or Impact?
Based off of what she said and how she's talked and everything going up into this final run before the final run actually started, I believe she would be done. Yes.
She'll be in the Rumble before last Raw.
Because I was just thinking, like, it wouldn't surprise me if Aldis didn't go to New Japan. Like, that's where I kind of see him fitting in right now, and we'll see if that's what happens. But, you know, with them building up their women's division right now, could she be an asset over there?
I think she wants to work more behind the scenes in wrestling.
That's
She
cool.
ran the
like Gail Kim.
Empower, you know, all women's pay-per-view, and you know, got a taste of doing that, and I think she really enjoyed that. So I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't leave the business altogether, but from an on-screen in ring talent, I think she would be done if she does lose on Friday.
She'll be back there in Impact, helping out the Knockouts division.
And that's Gail Kim's
honestly
role
think
right
that,
now, but
because NWA did her husband dirty, so
yeah, she won't continue with them.
yeah, and they ran one Empower which I thought was a great pay-per-view.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed Empower. I thought
Yeah.
it was top to bottom, great matches, good card, but
Billy
for
gave the
whatever-
WWE answer on that one, so
yeah, women don't draw money is what he said. Apparently his company doesn't draw money. That's why he's back to running live shows on YouTube every Tuesday and Saturday.
hey, when you tell people not to tune into your show if they don't like it,
Got Flocka in the comments.
Hold up. La Flaca, what's going on? Yo, she's my number one fan, guys. She's the only one that bought a PWP sweatshirt from me. And I say that every time she comes on because none of you fuckers have bought one. And
Whoa! I don't see you on the. I don't
I
see
was
you
just
on
about
the
to
Pro
say.
Wrestling Tees with the dumb
okay,
marks.
okay.
We can do
I
it.
didn't know
Never
you
heard
had
you-
merch.
I've never heard you ask for a link either. So
Hey, send in the link. I will purchase.
I'll
some
promote
merch.
this. I'll promote the show. I'll buy the merch. Listen, I'd rather give you money than some other, Joe Schmo that I don't know
Or-
get my money.
hey,
know?
and
Won't
vice
be a
versa.
sweatshirt,
You
because
guys better
I'm
send me a link.
I'm still waiting on freaking Kenny and them to send me their link for his stuff.
You got a tank
So,
top?
Do I got a tank
Well,
top?
You don't have muscles. What are you wearing
It's
a tank
January.
Hey, I need the cheapest thing.
top for? Oh, this guy's terrible.
Dave, we can do
I'm a
merch
support, but
exchange.
I'm a-
How about that?
I don't. Dave, he's so cheap. I don't think he's bought any merch from our own store.
Hey,
You can't spend $20.
Look, we've been doing the show
here's
for
one back there.
over 2 years. Yeah. That one,
I got 2 shirts.
I think Chris handed you a shirt. Don't lie.
I need to get a dumb mark. I gotta get the new logo though.
Yeah,
I
we
want
got.
the
We're
new
waiting,
logo.
we're waiting for that. We're waiting for that to be put up. On Pro Wrestling.
When is that gonna what?
It should have been
They
put the
still-
other day, and I think they weren't doing it because of the sale on Pro Wrestling Tees.
If you guys
Yeah.
listen, I will give you. So I made a promotional shirt. Well, not a promotional shirt. I just made a shirt with CM Punk's "duh" on it. I gotta see
No.
Steve wearing that.
I think I want to see Donald wearing that.
We'll figure out some type of stipulation to where we'll put a bet out there on something. We'll figure something out. And if you win the bet, whatever it is, I will buy your CM Punk duh shirt and wear
Dude,
it on this show the entire time.
when's the next fucking pay-per-view?
Rumble.
We better get our picks ready then.
We could have set this up for like the TCU Michigan game, and we could have bet that. But
I
obviously,
bet you
would've
could have.
lost
Yeah,
that
I bet you
bet.
could have. I don't want to talk about that right now, though. That's fine.
How's that make you feel watching them get boat raced by 65 points last night?
Who's that? TCU?
Yeah.
Dude. Good for Georgia. Good for Georgia. I'm happy for Georgia. Georgia's my team now. They beat Ohio State and they beat TCU, which got me thinking we could have had a chance.
They would have murdered Michigan.
No, they wouldn't have. I swear. They would have put on a game.
They would have. I think they would have.
Especially
Yeah.
if Blake Corum. If Blake Corum's coming back too. And that's my running back. That's my teammate.
We'll see what your head ball coach does and whether or not he leaves because
Bro, he got infractions on him.
Dude, I saw
Put
a
up Vinnie Mac and bounce.
video of him. A guy committed to Michigan. I saw a video of him on a video call, and he was like this. He was like, I'm not even joking. He was like, hey, congratulations. Your kid's gonna be big here. And they're like, what the fuck is he on, man? Like, what is wrong with this guy?
it's hardball.
But all right, I think we're gonna wind down here. I don't know, an hour and 25 minutes. Yeah, I say that's pretty good. If you don't mind, let everybody know where they can find you. We'll start off with Donald first.
No, you'll
He
find
hasn't
me.
talked.
I talk. I'm tired. Go ahead. Somebody else can do the call.
You can't find me anywhere because your boy's profile don't need to be followed.
Okay.
You can find him in the DMs.
You can find him in DMs and on the secret McDonald's
web.
menu of Instagram, where he has the connections
You
to
can find him in
Deshaun
his-
Watson.
I'm
Dark
some
Dungeon.
variation of Mr. Clean Weed on every platform. Mr. Cream of Wheat.
Mr. Queen.
I was
Queen.
tagging him in stuff at the beginning, and he was like, "I don't need tagged in stuff. People don't need to follow me."
Damn.
Dude's on a podcast and doesn't want any followers. Like,
Hey, you
doesn't
don't need to
buy
see the
merch,
ass
like,
on
why
my
do we even
timeline.
have, like,
And the best part is when we
You
were
don't need to
asking
see
for
what I follow.
feedback, when we were asking for feedback, people were just like, "Jason's the best part of the show." It's just like he doesn't want anybody to follow him on anything.
You don't want anybody to follow you, and you're the best part.
no, because it messes up his timeline and puts all his,
His algorithm.
What are you talking about?
Mr.
His
Cream
sneaky
O
kink.
Wheat, Twitter. Mr. Cream O Wheat, Instagram. Mr. Cream O Wheat, Snapchat.
Snapchat.
I'm on the chat too.
Snapchat. You taking pictures of yourself in that dungeon?
Hell yeah. I think I'm on TikTok. I'm on TikTok too, Mr. Cream. I don't know what it is on TikTok. It might be Mr. Cream O Wheat.
You don't make videos. What are you on TikTok for?
So watch the videos, my man.
Yeah. And if you want me, just follow the dumb marks. I'll find you. That's how it goes.
You guys are
so
great
fucking
co-hosts.
cryptic. It's
You guys
weird.
are great
That
co-hosts.
is so Donald. I'm in the shadows, so just I'll follow you.
Yeah,
I'll
I'll
figure it
find
out.
you. I'll find you.
I'll find you.
I'll find you.
Way to attract new audience members, guys. This is awesome. Like, you guys are
The
terrific.
Dumb Marks podcast can be found everywhere at Dumb Marks Pod. Head over to
And make
dumbmarkspod.com for all the links and everywhere you can find us on where podcasts are available.
You'll
And hit
find
up
my
sure if you
prowrestlingtees.com/dumbmarkspod to buy our merch, especially a new shirt that hopefully gets posted soon.
Yeah, we kind of dropped the ball and we were Dumb Marks on Saturday announcing that, but it wasn't up yet. So we missed the boat on that.
24 to 48 hours, my ass.
Yeah. Make sure you go over to Anchor and subscribe and follow us, listen to us over there. We greatly appreciate it. Like everybody else said, at Dumb Marks Pod. Individually, you can find me on Twitter at ssantoro128. I'm on Facebook and Instagram as well. But yeah, that's it. Tune in live every Saturday at 11 a.m. for your favorite Saturday brunch bunch. And that's it. Great close. Great close.
All right, guys. That's going to be it from us. From me, Pro, to Steve, to Chris, to Jason, to Donald. Have a good night and
for
happy
having me.
NXT.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for
We
having
are
us.
out of here. Bye-bye.
Junior want to not be on my extra percent.